Hi, Deirdre Danahar with InMotion Consulting and Coaching. I'd like to ask you a question. Is your work an unsatisfying hodgepodge, or is it a delicious dish? Having a strong foundation is essential in both cooking and in business. Without a good foundation, you're very often going to end up with a hodgepodge of something which may or may not be on point, but in my experience, all too often ends up being kind of a mess. Many dishes start with what's called a mirepoix, and that's a mixture of chopped, sauteed vegetables that create a savory base that you build from. In business, you need what I refer to as a professional flavor base, and that's the ability to notice, understand, and then manage emotions, both yours and others, in order to create productive, positive, generative working relationships. But once you have that base established, you need to go further. And in business or as a professional, there are a variety of things that we need to do. But there are three things that everybody I know in business or who works for themselves or somebody else has to do. One is decision making. The second is get to outcomes or achieve something. And the third is that we need to be able to influence people. Not manipulate them, but influence them. So how do we go about doing that? Well, to me, this is like making the most of your professional pantry. So, first, you have to figure out what's in your pantry. You have to know what the ingredients are that you have to work with, and that's essential for decision making. First, what I suggest is asking yourself, how well do you analyze all of the elements that go into a given situation and a given decision, both the facts and the people elements, and do that in a way that it's non-judgmental. You take in all the information so you can soak everything in from it and use it well. Second, how clear are you about what the purpose of a given decision is? If we're not clear about what the purpose is, it's very hard to plan a trajectory that's going to work. And third, how well do you understand what the impact of a decision will be, both what it will impact and who it will impact, in order to be able to plan ahead for any concerns, unintended ripple effects, maybe avoid unintended ripple effects, or know what the impact is so you can be prepared. That's decision making. Which then leads us to achieving something, getting to our desired goal or outcome. So for me, this is like bringing together all of your ingredients and creating a composed dish that is, in fact, delicious. In order to do that, there are some other questions that's very useful to ask yourself. How good am I at uniting others around a purpose? How good am I at uniting others around a purpose? Something that feels meaningful and achievable, even if it's a stretch. Very few of us do anything on our own these days, so being able to collaborate with others is important. Second, in order to get something done, it's going to take time. So, how good are you at rallying your own emotions as well as those of others in order to keep going over time, even when the going is hard? And third, when you get something done, is there a real sense of accomplishment, or does it feel like you're just jumping through hoops or ticking something off of your list? And how about for the people around you? That sense of accomplishment helps us keep going over time, which is so important for each of us. And as you can see, this brings us to the third thing I mentioned, influencing others. How do we do that? Well, there's a variety of things that go into influencing others, but here are three questions to ask yourself to get started. First, how good are you at balancing being assertive, realistically optimistic, and confident all in one given period of time? It's that combination that people are drawn to and helps you to be able to rally people around a purpose. Two, how good are you at reading other people or reading a group of people? That information is important to figure out how you need to communicate with them in order to bring them together, to unite around something, and to figure out what information you need to share in order for them to understand the purpose and buy into the purpose of making a decision or doing something that's quite different. And third, do you have the credibility and skills it's going to take to see something through? Do you have the credibility and skills to engage other people, to motivate them, to get them to join you in what you're trying to do? And if not, what do you need to build in order to get those levels of credibility and skills that you need? So, do you know what it takes for you to make very good decisions, to get to the outcomes that you want, and to influence people in a way that gets things done? All you have to do is look in your professional pantry, see what you have, see what you need, and fill in the gaps. Thank you. Have a great day.